This is Leftist ASMR, and I hope you're all having an amazing day. I hope that you're having an amazing night if it's nighttime as well. Today I'm going to be doing a video that was actually a suggestion by one of my subscribers who is named Bucky420, and I'll shout them out right over here. I'll put their username, and they gave me an amazing idea to do like a political quiz and kind of walk through it for a video. I think this is a fun video idea because you can kind of see more about kind of my values and what I think about different political questions or philosophical questions. And I've always also wanted to take one of these quizzes to see kind of like where exactly I stand on a political spectrum. So I'm going to be doing this quiz live for you all. And this quiz is called the 8 Values Political Test. And it says the 8 Values Test is a communally developed test that seeks to measure a person's political standpoint according to 8 central political values. Please comment down below ideas for future videos, and I might just pick one, so comment down below, and I always 100% respond to every single comment, and I read them all, and I really appreciate them. So comment down below any different video ideas. That would be really awesome. And if you've taken any like quiz before, political quiz, comment that as well so that I can comment back and like it and maybe take that quiz as well. So the first question here says, military spending is a waste of money. And I'm going to say agree. And I'm going to put strongly agree. Number two. Children should be educated in religious or traditional values. So I guess this one kind of depends. I don't see anything wrong with educating your children in with religious values. So I'm gonna say I'm pretty neutral to this question. Alright, question number three. Environmental regulations are essential. I'm gonna say strongly agree. I think most people our age would agree with this one. Or when I say our age, I mean my age, I guess. I don't know how old you are, anyone who's watching. Oh, by the way, I'm trying to be extra close up with this one because I got a comment on my last video saying that they like it when I get close to the microphone. So here we are, extra close to the microphone. Okay, number 4. From each according to his ability, to each according to his needs. From each according to his ability, to each according to his needs. I don't 100% understand what that means. From each according to his ability, to each according to his needs. I guess I agree with that. So like as much as you're able to do, that should be given to whoever needs it. Okay, I guess I strongly agree with that, but I'm not 100% sure that's what it means. Number 5. Genetic modification is a force of good, even on humans. This quiz is pretty hard. I guess I'm pretty neutral. I don't know. Maybe I slightly disagree with that. I'm gonna say, I don't have any strong. I haven't thought about that a lot. I'm gonna say I disagree. I support single-payer universal health care. Okay, I strongly agree. Medicare for all. A hierarchical state is best. A hierarchical state is best. I'm gonna say no. I strongly disagree. No hierarchy in my state. Okay, the general populace makes poor decisions. No, I disagree strongly. wars do not need to be justified to other countries. Strongly disagree. Wars are never justified. But maybe, I don't know. I haven't really thought about whether they're, I don't know. That's a complicated question. But the first one, wars do not need to be justified to other countries. Disagree. Strongly. Number 12. Number 12. Number 12. Number 12. Number 12. Governments should be accountable to the international community. Agree. Strongly. Well, I'm going to say strongly, I guess. I think government should be accountable in general. So, number 13. Number 13. It is very important to maintain law and order. No. Disagree very much. So, I think protest and demonstrations and civil disobedience are important, and I don't think it's very important to maintain law and order. I think law and order is disorder. Alright, quality education. Oh, number 14. Quality education is a right of all people. Agree very strongly. Number 15, number 15, number 15, number 15. Abortion should be prohibited in most or all cases. Strongly disagree. Pro-choice. Number 16. 16. Number 16, number 16. Drug use should be legalized or decriminalized. 100% agree. Strongly agree. The United Nations. Oh, number 17. The United Nations should be abolished. 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 See, I don't know. I mean, I majored in international affairs, but I don't know currently 1,000,000% what the United Nations does right now. I'm going to say they should probably be abolished. I'm generally against neoliberal institutions. I'm generally against neoliberal institutions such as the United Nations, so I'm going to say I agree. Number 18. It is important that we think in long term beyond our lifespans. Strongly agree with that one, for sure. Number 19. Number 19. Number 19. It is more important to retain peaceful relations than to further our strength. For sure. Like what strength? Cancel strength. That toxic masculinity. Number 20. Question. Number 20. Number 20. Number 20. Taxes should be increased on the rich to provide for the poor. Yes, 100%. Strongly agree. Number 21. It is important that we work as a united world to combat climate change. It is important that we work as a united world to combat climate change. Yes, strongly agree. Number 22. A united world government would be beneficial to mankind. Good question. I'm gonna say no. Disagree. Question 23. The stronger the leadership, the better. I disagree completely with that one. Number 24. Question number 24. No cultures are superior to others. Strongly agree. And if you don't agree with that one, then you're probably not subscribed to me. Question number 25. Victimless crimes such as drug use should not be crimes at all. Agree. 100% strongly agree. Society was better many years ago than it is now. I guess this one's complicated because it's not giving me how many years. So was society better thousands of years ago? Maybe, I don't know. Is society better 50 years ago? I would say no. So it's pretty hard. Was society better pre-colonization? Probably. So I'm gonna say, I don't know. Sure, I guess I'm neutral because I don't know the answer. Question number 27. Tariffs on international trade are important to encourage local production. That's also a tough one. I think I'm gonna say I guess I agree with that. Well, I mean, I'm not even a capitalist to begin with, so I don't believe in trade in all that way, but I don't know. I guess I agree. Question number 28. Governments should be concerned about foreigners as they are about their own citizens. Governments should be as concerned about foreigners as they are about their own citizens. So, like, in terms of, like, are they concerned that, like, we don't want them? In which case the answer is no. But are we concerned as, like, they're just as important as us? Then yes, and I think that's what they mean, so I'm going to say strongly agree. Question number 29. Question number 29. Question number 29. My nation is great. Okay, strongly disagree. I'm definitely not a nationalist. I don't really think any nation can really be great. I'm anti the establishment of nation states, and particularly the United States is not great. So I'm going to give that one a strongly disagree. Question number 30. Question number 30. Inheritance is a legitimate form of wealth. Strongly disagree. Inheritance is not a legitimate form of wealth to me. Question number 31. Those with greater ability to pay should receive better healthcare. Oh my god, I got into an argument with my roommate last year regarding this, which I'm sure he's already changed his opinion on, but I strongly disagree. Those with greater ability to pay should receive better healthcare is not what I agree with, so I strongly disagree. Question number 32 out of 70. We're almost halfway through. Okay. Question number 32 of the 70. Research should be conducted on an international scale. Sure. I guess I agree. Question number 33 out of 70. Basic utilities like roads and electricity should be publicly owned. 1,000,000,000,000% agree. Maintaining family values is essential. Okay, family values is like just code word for homophobia and racism, so I'm gonna say strongly disagree. Question number 35 out of 70. 35 out of 70. The sacrifice of some civil liberties is necessary to protect us from acts of terrorism. Strongly disagree. I believe that sacrifice of these civil liberties generally only affect people who are not white and not rich. So, for example, the do not fly list largely just affect Muslims and people who are from the Middle East, and those are just racist. So I'm going to say that I strongly disagree. Number 36 out of 70. It is important that the government follows the majority opinion even if it is wrong. It's like define wrong, you know. I'm going to say I don't agree with this. The importance that the government follows the majority opinion even if it is wrong. Yeah, I don't agree. I strongly disagree. Slavery wasn't majority opinion at one point. So I'm going to say I strongly disagree. Question 37 out of 70. That means a production should belong to the workers who use them. Of course, I myself am a communist, so I'm going to agree with this. That means the production should belong to the workers. Question 38. Military action by our nation is often necessary to protect it. I'm going to say it is often not necessary, so strongly disagree. Number 39. Regardless of political opinions, it is important to side with your country. Like I said before, I am no nationalist. I am not a nationalist, so I'm going to say I strongly disagree. Okay, number 40. If we accept migrants at all, it is important that they assimilate into our culture. I strongly disagree. I don't believe anyone should have to assimilate into any culture. I am going to say strongly disagree. Question number 41 of 70. Religion should play a role in government. I'm going to say no for this one. I don't believe that religion should play a role in government. Obviously, if you're a religious person and you're in government, you will probably lead in a way that appeals to your religion, but I think in general, religion should not play a role in government. Number 42. Number 42 out of 70. Oppression by I'm going to say that oppression by corporations is more of a concern. I'm going to say, like, yes, they're both extremely oppressive. So I'll say that maybe oppression by corporations is a little bit more of a concern than oppression by governments, but they're just really one and the same, so I guess I'm going to have to say neutral. Okay, question 43. 43. It is important that we further my group's goals above all others. I'm going to say strongly disagree. I believe in solidarity among all groups. Question 44. Even when protesting an authoritarian government, violence is not acceptable. I strongly disagree. I believe that violence is acceptable when protesting an authoritarian government. I would argue maybe personally that violence against property is more acceptable than violence against human life. 100%. Question number 45. Democracy is more than a decision-making process. Democracy is more than a decision-making process. I guess I agree with that. I'm not really sure what it means, but I guess I agree. Question number 46. It would be best if social programs were abolished in favor of private charity. This I strongly disagree with. In fact, I was just talking with my dad about this recently, that I think that charity is pretty bogus, and that I believe that nonprofits can be pretty bogus most of the time, and then I don't think that people and nonprofits and with a lot of money should have the power deciding where the money is distributed. So I do not believe that social programs should be abolished in favor of private charity. Number 47. International aid is a waste of money. I strongly disagree. I think that if the international aid is in the form of weapons and defense, I think that it is, but if it's in the form of food and water and shelter, then no. Question number 48. It is better to maintain a balanced budget than to ensure welfare for all citizens. I do not believe in I do not agree. I strongly disagree. Question number 49. Gun ownership should be prohibited for those without a valid reason. No, I do not agree. I think that gun ownership should not be prohibited for those without a valid reason. In fact, I believe that gun laws often in this country just make it easier to put people of color in prison or have records. Question number 50. My religious values should be spread as much as possible. My religious values should be spread as much as possible. As you may know, I am Jewish, but I do not believe that it should be spread as much as possible. That is my religion, and I'm not going to try to spread it to anyone else unless someone asks me a question about it. I'm happy to answer. Question number 51. Publicly funded research is more beneficial to the people than leaving it to the market. 100%. I don't believe corporate sponsored research is even really can ever really be not biased. Question number 52. All authority should be questioned. I strongly agree with that. I never really grew out of my angsty high school and middle school phases, but even if I did, I still think I would agree that all authority should be questioned. Question number 53. Same-sex marriage should be legal. Strongly agree, but I am gay and I'm extremely pro-queer, but I just feel like same-sex marriage is always often the focus, and it's often like white gay men that are the picture of same-sex marriage, and I just don't believe that same-sex marriage is necessarily where all of our focus should be spread. I think that there are more pressing issues in the queer community, but of course in societies now, marriage is a status of equality, and therefore gay people should be given that right. Question number 54. It is important to maintain our national sovereignty. No, as I mentioned before, I am not pro-nation state. I am not a nationalist. I don't believe in borders the way that they exist in this world. So I'm going to say no, strongly disagree. Number 55. Sex outside marriage is immoral. I strongly disagree. Have sex with whoever you like, whenever you like, but do not have sex if you don't want to, and if the person you're having Question number 57. It is necessary for the government to intervene in the economy to protect consumers. 100%. Corporations will lie, cheat, and steal. Someone's got to stop them. Question number 58. Reason is more important than maintaining our culture. That's actually an interesting question. I'm going to say I'm pretty neutral just because I haven't put enough thought into it. Reason is more important than maintaining our culture. I'm going to say yes, I agree. The very existence of the state is a threat to our liberty. I'm going to say, that's a hard question. I think yes, I do believe that, so I'm going to say I agree. Especially in the context of the United States, when I think of the police and the military, and all the institutions that exist that oppress the people living in our country, so I'm going to have to say yes. Number 60. Traditions are of no value on their own. Traditions are of no, I don't agree. I think traditions hold value on their own. I like many traditions. Question number 61. It is important that we maintain the traditions of our past. Good question. I think it's important to maintain culture, maintain traditions. I don't know, I guess I'm neutral. I don't really know. Number 62. Prostitution should be illegal. I strongly disagree because I believe that I think it is we live in a world that is unjust, and therefore many people feel they have no other option to make money other than to prostitute themselves. And some people do actually prefer that line of work, and people who either feel like they don't have another choice to do anything else, or feel like they enjoy that line of work, should have 100% agency to conduct in sex work. Do I believe that we don't have the right welfare in place to make people, and particularly women, feel like they don't have to engage in sex work, and trans people and queer people? I think we don't have that, and that's not okay. I think we need to do more for our oppressed communities living in this world, and it's a complicated question. I think I do. Prostitution should definitely be legal, so I disagree. Prostitution should be equal. I disagree with that. Question 63. All people, regardless of factors like culture or sexuality, should be treated equally. Of course, I strongly agree. That one's obvious, I think. That one is obvious, I think. Question 64 out of 70. Government intervention is a threat to the economy. No, I strongly disagree. Like I said before, someone's got to stop the corporations from lying, cheating, and stealing. But honestly, the government won't do that either. But I think they should have power to, if they ever chose to. Question 65. Our nation's values should be spread as much as possible. I strongly disagree. I think that is just an excuse for murder and genocide. Question 66. Government surveillance is necessary in the modern world. I strongly disagree again. Question 67. A better world will come from automation, science, and technology. I strongly disagree. I do not believe a better world will come from automation, science, technology. I think that's the same vein of capitalism that built this. The automation, science, technology we're talking about is the same type of capitalism that's going to be the ultimate downfall of the world and the human race. Question 68. Churches should be taxed the same way other institutions are taxed. Yes, I do agree 100%. No one should be skipping out on their taxes. I think the larger issue is probably corporations and not churches, but you know what? I think churches should pay their fair share as well. Question 69 of 70. The freer the markets, the freer the people. The freer the markets, the freer the people. Definitely not. I think free markets, again, just allow corporations to take advantage. Question 70 of 70. The last question. The last question here. The last question. I support regional unions such as the European Union. Also, interesting. I think in general, I would say no, I don't really believe that international institutions always do the right thing. So I'm going to say that neoliberal institutions like the European Union probably do some good, but also a lot of bad. So I think values political test, and this part I will put on the screen over here. So it says on the economic axis, a communist. On the diplomatic axis, I am an internationalist. So like it's a spectrum of nation and world, and I'm on the world end. On the civil axis, I'm a libertarian. So the two options are liberty and authority, and I'm on the liberty side. And on the societal axis, I'm very progressive. So there's progress and there's tradition, and I'm on the very progressive side, which is the progress side. So my closest match is a libertarian communism, which is probably what I would have guessed, just because that's kind of how I describe myself, as a libertarian communist, which is interesting. I can take a second to just read more of this. It says economic axis, equality versus markets. I got equality. Those with higher quality scores believe the economy should distribute value evenly among the citizenship. They tend to support progressive tax codes, social programs, and high values socialism. For diplomatic axis, nation versus global, I got nation, I got global world. Those with higher world scores are cosmopolitan and globalist. They often believe in peaceful foreign policy, emphasizing diplomacy, cooperation, integration, and high values. A one world government. That one I don't know if I'm 100% with, but I think that's like the anti-military one, which makes sense for me. The next one is civil axis, liberty versus authority. So I got liberty. Those with higher liberty scores want strong civil liberties. They tend to support democracy and oppose state intervention in personal lives. Note that this refers to civil liberties and not economic liberties. So that makes sense for me again. And the last one, societal axis, tradition versus progress. I got progress. Those with higher progress scores believe in social change and the upheaval of traditional norms. Many are also atheists and see the golden age as being in front of us, or in the future. Interesting. So that was really fun. Thank you again to Buggy420 for recommending this to me. Please like this video and subscribe. I post lots of content here. I've been posting like legit every other day recently because I really enjoy it. But I definitely post at least once a week as of the past couple months. So please subscribe and please comment any new requests. Comment any quizzes you've done, or if you've taken this quiz, like what you got. That would be really interesting for me. So thank you so much. Have a great night or great day depending when you're watching. Love you all lots. Bye bye.